Well, the place to be this weekend, Fantasy Springs Special Events Center, Saturday, 8 p.m. The legendary Steve Miller will be there, and he's on the phone with me right now. Hello, Steve.
Ta-da! Hello, Bob. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for being part of KDES 104.7, and you've been everywhere. Let me see if I've got the whole scenario down. You were born in Milwaukee,
Yep.
raised in Dallas,
Yep.
moved to San Francisco,
Yeah.
and right now you're calling from Idaho.
Ketchum, Idaho, yeah.
Is there any place you haven't been?
Well, over the years I've probably played and traveled to just about everywhere in the United States and lots of other countries, too.
Well, tell me about 1967 when it all started getting into gear for you. The San Francisco music scene, Haight-Ashbury, Summer of Love. What was that like?
Well, it was really pretty amazing. I'd been in Chicago where I was playing blues for about 3 years with Muddy Waters and Buddy Guy, people like that. And then going out to San Francisco was a way to put ourselves right in the middle of the mix and maybe get a chance to make a record and really, have a music career. So when I got to San Francisco, it was extremely creative. The Fillmore Auditorium was running, and the Family Dog, the Avalon Ballroom was on. So there were concerts every night. The Grateful Dead were there, the Jefferson Airplane, Quicksilver Messenger Service, Big Brother and the Holding Company, Janis Joplin, lots of bands like that. So I put my band together, and we all started playing concerts at those two halls, and then also free concerts in the park, and an amazing art explosion going on. And all the posters and all the artwork involved with the concerts was very creative and new, and that was really fun. And then we were building new stages and sound systems. It was new light shows. It was just all brand new right then.
Hard to believe it's been 40 years.
It goes by so fast that, that seems like it was 18 months ago. So that's one of the ironies of, getting older is, you have less and less time in it, and therefore everything seems like it's going a lot faster than it used to, that's for sure.
Now, moments ago, you were talking about doing blues in Chicago. I can tell by the lyrics of your song, being a blues fan myself, that you're a big blues fan. Didn't need you to even tell me that because, like, for instance, you quote from a lot of Clovers records, Lovey-Dovey all the time.
Absolutely, I love the Clovers.
And Your Cash Ain't Nothing But Trash.
Yep, I recorded that.
I know. You did a great version of it, too.
And the Gangster Love, Johnny Guitar Watson's tune. So I've always loved blues. And growing up in Texas, there were lots of great blues players there. And that was really my first love, was playing blues. And we do, in our concert, we do the greatest hits. We do about 14 of those. And we do about 7 or 8 other songs in our set. There'll be some hot guitar playing going on for sure.
For those just joining us, once again, talking with Steve Miller, the Steve Miller Band, coming to town, Fantasy Springs, this coming Saturday night. And, while I have you on the phone, what is the Pompatus of Love?
The Pompatus of Love is just a made-up word. So there really is no definition. It's whatever you think it is.
Really? I have a very strange imagination. So.
Yeah, most people do. That's why it's such a great word. I get about 4 or 5 letters a year from lawyers. Always want to know what the Pompatus of Love is. They're always very interested in the meaning of words and parsing words, and but it's whatever you want it to be.
So we mentioned the Clovers. Who else were your big influences?
T-Bone Walker, Jimmy Reed, Fats Domino, people like that. The Drifters, the Clovers, all the doo-wop groups. And then
that's near and dear to my heart. That's what I collect. So
yeah, me too. And then of course Ray Charles and Bo Diddley and Chuck Berry, and so much of it that has affected me. And I love jazz. I love the Modern Jazz Quartet. And
teaming up with Boz Scaggs. How did that happen?
Well, Boz and I went to the same school. We went to a prep school in Dallas, and I met Boz when I was in the 8th grade, and I had a rock band called the Marksman Combo, and Boz was one of my best pals, and I brought him into the band to sing. He was a backup singer in the band through high school, and then we went to college together at the University of Wisconsin, and I taught Boz how to play guitar, and then he was in the Steve Miller Band that recorded in San Francisco.
Interesting little side note, you and my mom have the same birthday. Now, not the same year, but October 5th.
Yeah.
Just a little thing I thought I'd throw in.
Well, that's good. You tell your mom I said happy birthday.
I will. I'll pass that along. Well, a whole string of hit records. The Joker, Take the Money and Run, Rockin' Me, Jungle Love, Fly Like an Eagle, Jet Airliner, Swing Town. And then it took 4 years until Abracadabra. What was going on with the Steve Miller Band during that, if you want to call it, a lull?
Oh, well, we took a break. We had been on the road since 1967 to, 1980 or something like that. And we were pretty pooped, so took a break. Let's see, I bought a farm in Oregon, went and hung out there and built a recording studio, and next thing you know, 3 years had gone by just like zip, zip, zip. Then we started recording again, did Abracadabra, and then got back out on the road.
I have a funny feeling you have a passion for flying, or you're a pilot, or because a lot of your songs, Jet Airliner, Fly Like an Eagle, for instance, are about flying.
I'm not a pilot, but I do have a passion for flying, and I do fly a lot.
If you're just joining us, KDAZ 104.7, I'm talking with Steve Miller, going to be in town this coming Saturday night at Fantasy Springs Resort Casino. I know in school you studied literature. How does somebody who studied literature get into this crazy business of rock and roll music?
Well, I grew up in a musical family. Les Paul taught me how to play guitar when I was 5 years old. So I was always playing guitar, and I was always interested in writing and literature, creative literature, comparative literature, and that was my interest in college. And when I entered college, I didn't really think that there was any kind of career that could be had. It was pretty hard to make a living as a musician back in those days, because if you had a hit record, you had a career for 2 years and then you were gone. Reading other people's writings helps you write better songs. I've always been a reader, an avid reader.
Now, getting with Capitol Records, I mean, the Beatles had most of their hits there, the Beach Boys, so many legendary artists. What was that like? Did you get to hang with any of them? Did you use any of them on your sessions, or...?
The way it works at record companies is, people are making records all over the world, so it's not like everybody's there at the company. At the Tower in L.A., that they did have studios there, but that's where most of the business and the promotion departments were and stuff like that. I did meet the Beach Boys, did lots of concerts with them, and became friends with the Beatles, and met Paul McCartney and did some recording with Paul. I've done 2 or 3 recordings with him over the years. And over the years, I've met, lots of good artists at Capitol Records. I remember meeting Chris Christopherson there when I was a kid, and it was very exciting to have a recording contract and to be able to finally be able to make records and get a career going.
This coming Saturday, the Steve Miller Band going to be at Fantasy Springs Special Events Center, Saturday, 8 p.m. What can we expect when we go to see you?
It'll be a great show. We probably do about 20, 22 numbers, and we'll open up with Swing Town, and we'll do a bunch of our hits, and we'll do some other songs. We'll do some blues material. We'll do Fly Like an Eagle, The Joker, Take the Money and Run, Rockin' Me, all of that stuff. And it generally is a very joyous, happy evening of music with a lot of spontaneous soloing, and we really look forward to it. We really enjoy what we do. That's why we're still doing it. We just played down in New Orleans at the Superdome for the Saints football game, and then this is the beginning of our tour this year.
How about new projects for the Steve Miller Band? New CD coming soon?
Well, there's a bunch of different things that are going on. We're working on some new material where we're actually recording right now. Lately, it's funny, we opened up, we were talking about doo-wop and different material, and I've been reviewing material from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, just picking out songs that I really like that other people have done. And our main project right now is Capitol has asked us if we'd do an acoustic version of all the greatest hits, and so we're working on that, and I think we may even do a few of them this weekend. So that's probably the biggest project on the books right now.
Speaking of this weekend, again, Saturday night, everybody should be there. Let's sell the place out. Fantasy Springs Special Event Center, the legendary Steve Miller Band, and thank you for being on KDAZ 104.7.
Thank you, Bob. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Hey, this is Steve Miller, and you're listening to Bob O'Brien on KDAZ FM 104.7.